let's get it in.
Schaefer currently the fastest driver, or I'm sorry, the points leader tonight. Cedric Hunter right there behind Alex Coffey sits back in third. Kyle Benson and Warren Keith, your top five. We're just up on the screen so you can see where your favorite driver is currently in the point standings as we are through 11 races, getting closer and closer to the playoffs. In fact, ability to pull up the playoff picture here and see where that's at. Take a look at a couple of the drivers out on the racetrack. There's Warren Keith making his way off of turn number 2. And Darlington, a very, very tricky track. It's a track that in my 13 years on the sim still have trouble getting around, mostly because you want to be right up against the outside wall. Not a lot of room to really make a mistake out there. We have practice pretty much coming to an end here. We see about 30 seconds left here in practice. Driver Cody Kinsey out there making some laps. Currently the 6th fastest driver on the speed charts. This playoff picture up, bring it up on the screen for us here tonight. The checker flag comes out here in practice. Let's take a look at this playoff picture. We see Cedric Hunter, Eric Schaefer, and Warren Keith currently locked in on wins. Kyle Benson sits back in 4th. Craig Lautenschlager in 5th. Craig Parts, Jacob Jorgensen, and Michael Kosick, your top 8. I would put the 4 guys on the bubble right now. Would be Spencer Gay, Dalton Tucker, Brad Titus, and Josh Lokenvitz. They are just above that cut line. Spencer being 22 points above that cut line, and anything can happen, especially at the next couple tracks coming up. Jesse Nekula is tied with Josh Lokenvitz for that final transfer spot. So we'll see how that plays out. Then Tony Kivett just 8 points back. Jason Hastings and Parker Bland. So any of these drivers can make their way in, or if one of these drivers was to win in the next couple weeks, they could lock themselves in with a win. Of course, see if I have the schedule here on the screen to pop up. See, that is the schedule. So Darlington tonight, which again is a track that is unpredictable. And then next week we kind of move on, or not 2 weeks, we move on to what I would consider a wild card track at Daytona before we get the playoffs underway. We have drivers out on the track making their qualifying attempts. First driver we see here, this is Cody Kinsey, making his way down into turns 1 and 2. And again, you'll see the drivers kind of run right up against the wall. The exit of turn 2 is probably the trickiest part of this entire racetrack, as Eric Schaefer goes up to the top of the leaderboard. And we'll ride along with one of the drivers in a moment, and I will walk you through a lap here as Kinsey comes down the backstretch for the final time on this qualifying attempt, down into turns 3 and 4. Across the stripe. And Kinsey is going to currently be up into the 3rd position. Let's see if we can find a driver we can ride along with here. Jesse Winkton. So you enter the corner right on that white line, slide right up to the wall, kind of double apex this corner through turns 1 and 2, and down the backstretch. We're going to be full throttle into turn number 3, which is a late entry, high entry into turn 3. And you hear as he waits almost forever to get back to the throttle. Make his way back down into this front stretch towards turn number 1 again. Enter really well, kind of hit that white line coming into the corner, then slide it all the way up to the outside wall. Once you get to the entrance of Seies here, start picking up the throttle, kind of drive it back down to the bottom of the corner. You get down, you get a good run down the backstretch where you can make a lot of passing opportunities off turn number 2. And it's right back down. He's going to run the low line here through turns 3 and 4. And again, so long to get back to the throttle. Make their way down to the stripe. That's a lap around Darlington Speedway, and that is a qualifying lap there for Jesse Winnington as well. Here's Richard Swavely making his way off of turn number 2 down onto the backstretch. You see, we've got about 6.5 minutes left of qualifying. Most of the drivers have made their qualifying attempt already. So while we've got a quick minute and a little break in the qualifying, as Swavely comes down across the stripe, we've got Warren Kyle Keith about to finish his qualifying attempt. And we'll get a word from our sponsor. Another driver just making their way out onto the racetrack for their qualifying attempt. That is the 05 of Gary May. As we got about 4.5 minutes left here in qualifying, the Mystic Whisperer says, "Let's go," number 29. And referring to the 29 of Mike George, currently sitting in the 11th position here in qualifying. making his way off of turn number 4 into the checker flag. That's going to put him currently in the 15th position. We still have, looks like 4 drivers left to qualify here tonight with about 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. So, of course, while we've got that break in the qualifying here, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Kick, we do appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. And don't forget to check out our great partners listed down below, including SimWrap Marketplace if you're looking for a brand new, or simwrapmarket.com if you're looking for a brand new paint job, or you paint your own and just looking for a little bit of help. Check them out. They've got a lot of different options over there. I've been checking them out quite recently, and they've got a lot of good stuff on their site. So again, check out your series sponsor, simwrapmarket.com. Of course, don't want to forget about our great partners here at Intensity Broadcasting, including Race API for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Visit raceapi.com. Of course, our website, if you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, or you want to support Atlee Atman-Weiss and his racing, or some of the other Virginia drivers in his area, or want to check out some of our novelty t-shirts like our Caution Breeds Caution t-shirt, check us out over at intensityracing.com. And if you're looking for some swag yourself, get a quote today over at intensityracing.com. And of course, we can't forget about our longtime sponsor, the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Yep, and love when our buttons just stop working. There we go. As we got another driver out on the racetrack, and that is, wait for that paint job to pop up. And that is the 48 of, I'm going to say Alex Muscarla. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Alex currently up in the 14th position on his first lap. I'm going to see if I can refresh paints here to get his paint job looking right, unless he does just have a plain white car. As he makes his way down, and currently 10th quickest on the speed charts. We'll see if that car pops back up in just a moment when we get underway, with about 45 seconds left, so not enough time for anybody else to make a qualifying lap. So we will get ready to look at our starting grid here tonight from Darlington Raceway. Again, the track that's known as Too Tough to Tame has a very unique shape for a unique reason. And we'll talk about that in just a moment, as the session is just about finished up here. Darlington, known as the original super speedway, one of the first tracks that was just over a mile long. And known for its unique egg shape. The turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4 swapped a few years ago when they had a reconfiguration. The reason for the egg shape was when they built the racetrack, the owner of the land, Sherman Ramsey, wanted to make sure that it didn't disturb Ramsey's favorite fishing hole. So the minnow pond was taken into consideration when they built the racetrack. That's why it has that unique D-shaped track. I'm sorry, not D-shaped, egg-shaped track. So just over a mile long. 1.366 miles. Turns 1 and 2, 25 degrees. 3 and 4, 23 degrees. And it's one of the few tracks that has a bit of banking on the front stretch and front back stretch as well. As we take a look here at our starting grid, and on pole tonight in the Ford machine, Eric Schaefer with Warren Kyle Keith starting in position number 2. Cedric Hunter rolls off from the 3rd spot with Jesse Whittington back in position number 4. Row 3 will find Cody Kinsey and Justin Gahn with Craig Lautenschlager and Richard Swadley back in row number 4. Tony Kivett and Alex Muscarella back in row number 5. Row 6 will find Jacob Jorgensen and Mike George. And then Craig Parks and Chris Bishop back in row number 7. 15th will be Brandon Banks with Gary May back in 16th. Jason Hastings rolls off from the 17th position with Barry Knapp back in 18th. Timothy Stubblefield back in 19th. Brad Titus and Gary Wright round out the rest of the field here as 21 cars get ready to do battle here at the Lady in Black, the track that's too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway. And now the field gets rolling here. And this week, stages will be lap 30 and 65, with the final lap being lap 140. So a little bit longer race here tonight than we're used to seeing. But being Darlington, being a special track, one of the reasons for it, this race is going to transition into nighttime as well, as the cloud cover is starting to come over. The sun is starting to set. That's going to allow this track to get a little bit more grip. You see the cars making their way down the backstretch before we get ready to go green flag racing. Another unique thing about this racetrack is because of how long or big the banking is, it makes it a very difficult pit road to get onto. As you see the pace truck taking that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road, and pit road entry is very, very narrow. You can see that right there on the right, so it makes things a little bit more difficult as well. As the field gets down to the starting zone, the green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Darlington. Great side-by-side battle for the lead already. You see Schaefer getting down onto the apron to get around Warren Kyle Keith. Keith's going to tuck back in line with Cedric Hunter right behind as well. Meanwhile, we got a side-by-side battle here between Justin Gahn and Cody Kinsey. Kinsey going to take that position away as they go down into turn number 3. A little further back, more side-by-side racing between the 5 of Jacob Jorgensen and Mike George. George up on that high side, gets a little loose there, gives Jorgensen, gives a little bit of room there, and right behind you see the 54 of Brandon Banks coming right into this mix as well. Again, the high lane is going to be the stronger lane here tonight as Banks makes a move, looks down to the inside of Jorgensen down into turn number 1. We're going to go side by side through one of the most difficult corners, I think, in all of iRa racing. And Banks is going to come out with that position. Meanwhile, just in front of that, Cody Kinsey is Justin Gahn right there on the back bumper. Gahn taking a look down to the inside as they go into turn number 3. Side by side off of turn number 4 for the 5th position. Gahn not able to make that pass clean yet. They make their way down into turn number 1. Apologize, I didn't have the time of the scoring up on the screen, but we got that now with Gahn. Really loose off of turn number 2. He's going to have to go all the way down to the inside portion of the racetrack. He's able to hold on to it. Great save for Gahn. A little further back, a little battle, big battle back here. And yeah, that car driven by Alex Musala is going to be completely white. No numbers, no nothing. Looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's seeing a little twitch out of that car as he's fallen all the way back to the 14th position. Meanwhile, Brandon Banks starting to run down Mike George as they come off of turn number 4. Also catching the 76 of Tony Kivett here as they come off of turn 2. Banks going to take the dive down to the inside of Mike George as they go down into turn number 3. George moves that high lane. See if he can hold on to that spot. Maybe get a run here on Tony Kivett as they come off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch to complete lap number 7. Up front, Eric Schaefer with about a half-second lead over Warren Kyle Keith. A little bit of a battle brewing back here again between Cody Kinsey and Justin Gahn as they are slowly running down Jesse Whittaker as well. Now, tire wear is going to be a huge issue here tonight as well. Darlington, a very abrasive racetrack, really wears out the tires. Depending on how you're driving this car, you're either going to have to worry about that right front or, more importantly, that right rear. You see Gahn now down to the inside of Kinsey. And they go side by side again off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch. Kinsey able to hold on up on that high side for now as they dive down into turn number 1. Kinsey with that preferred line on the high side, but Gahn able to get the throttle down a little bit sooner. Muscles his way around and move him up into the 5th spot. He's going to set his sights on Jesse Whittaker. That's another one of those smart moves. It's early in the race. You know, running side by side like that, racing each other is going to burn up your tires. And you'll lose a ton of time to the car in front of you. So Kinsey wisely kind of just backs out of it, allows Gahn to go right on by. That way they don't lose up too much time as we see Craig Lautenschlager and Richard Swavely about to battle it out for the 7th position. And the rest of the field starting to spread out just a little bit. With 10 laps complete, Eric Schaefer pulling away from Warren Kyle Keith, now just over a half-second lead. As you see Richard Swavely closing in on the 77 of Craig Lautenschlager. Great view from the back bumper of the 77. Lautenschlager up into the outside wall. That is going to allow Richard Swavely to get the position, get a run down here in the turn number 3. Also, you see the 76, Tony Kivett, Brandon Banks, also closing right in on this mix as the 27 now loses his momentum. He's going to lose 2 spots here. Swavely going to fall back into the 10th spot as Brandon Banks and Tony Kivett both make their way around. And Kivett's going to start setting his sights on Lautenschlager. Just how quickly this track can come out and bite you. We got what we like to call a Darlington stripe. Got the right side up into the outside wall. Just enough to break his momentum. Scrape a little bit of paint off that right rear quarter panel. He's right back at it, trying to run back down Brandon Banks. Meanwhile, Justin Gahn, a little contact there between Gahn and Jesse Whittington. Gahn's going to take that spot away. So it sounded like Whittington got a little loose there. Got to the side of Justin Gahn, but they were both able to hang on to it. So everybody keeps it going straight, and we continue on. Jacob Jorgensen getting around the 14 of Chris Bishop. Bishop looks like he's having a little bit of struggles right now. He's falling back pretty quickly as we see Alex looking down underneath. I don't know if that 14's been up into the wall. And that's why he's struggling with spear knot. Ooh, as we see the 5, Jacob Jorgensen get really loose off of turn number 4. Goes all the way down to the inside of the track. And here comes Alex in that 48 machine looking down to the inside of Jacob Jorgensen. He's going to pull a slide job here up in front of the 5. 5 catches the wall a little bit. And that's going to allow Chris Bishop to pull right back on the back bumper of Jacob Jorgensen. Meanwhile, back up front, Cedric Hunter running down Warren Keith, and as I say that, Hunter just got up into the wall just a little bit, got himself a Darlington stripe. He was right there on the back bumper of the 21 machine. Now he's starting to fall back just a little bit. He's going to have to try to get another run at it. Meanwhile, these 4 cars right here under a blanket. As the 54 of Brandon Banks gets up into the outside wall just a little bit. That gives an opportunity for Richard Swavely to get a run down the front stretch and into turn number 1. And ooh, got really loose there. Had to get on the brakes to keep from getting into the side of the 54. So wise move checking up there. Meanwhile, Tony Kivett right there on the back bumper of Craig Lotschlager. As ooh, the 77 just barely catches the wall there. That's going to break his momentum. Let's see if Kivett's going to have a run here down the back, or down the front stretch. Yes, he will. Slide job there. Textbook pass here at Darlington Speedway. Meanwhile, Cedric Hunter's run Warren Keith back down. Just how long Kyle Keith's waiting to get back to the throttle here as we look off the back bumper of the 21 machine. It's a unique way that they run turns 1 and 2 here. And here, just how long it takes for Warren Keith to get back to the throttle through turns 3 and 4. And yes, this is the unique way when we're running 2. You actually get down to the bottom, as I mentioned, slide up the track, off the throttle, back on the throttle, and off the throttle again. You see almost a little bit of contact there between Cedric Hunter and Warren Keith. Cedric Hunter going to take the position away, though, down on the inside. Gets that spot. That's a very unique paint job that Warren Keith has. Just realized it's a Busch Light theme, but it reminds me a lot of the old Brad Keselowski Miller Lite scheme. With the pouring can on the side, so yeah, pretty unique paint job there. But Cedric Hunter now moves himself up into the 2nd position. There's over a 2nd gap up to Eric Schaefer, who is currently in the lead. A little further back, Brandon Banks trying to run down Tony Kivett. Go to 7th position. A couple of these drivers are throwing a bit of throwback paint jobs here. As you can see, with Warren Keith and a couple of the other cars out here. So, great looking cars out on the racetrack. I'm a sucker for a good paint job, especially with the series sponsor, SimWrap Market. Richard Swagley starting to run down Jesse Whittington. Whittington struggling right now, falling backwards. About to lose the 8th position as Swagley looks down to the inside. He will take that position away. A little further back, you see Barry Knapp running down Chris Bishop. And Bishop's been struggling a little bit since the drop of the green flag. We saw him gain a few spots and then fall back. We see Timothy Stubblefield just made his way down onto pit road. Actually, it doesn't look like he entered pit road. Looks like he's having a connection issue. That now continues as we see Jesse Whittington about to lose another position. Throwback paint job that Craig Lautenschlager's got right there. He gets that position away. Credit Jesse Whittington. Now Mike George right there on the back bumper trying to make his move around as well. Ooh, almost some contact there as George almost slid up into the side of Jesse Whittington. As this battle for 10th place continues. Caution on the racetrack. Oh, that is for the stage. Lost track of laps there. So that is your stage caution. And Eric Schaefer going to get your stage win. Cedric Hunter back in second. Warren Kyle Keith in third. Justin Gahn and Cody Kinsey the top 5. And that battle was just heating up there right before the stage end. That's why I lost track of time on the lap set. 6th place was Brandon Banks, Tony Kiffett, Richard Swagley, Craig Lautenschlager, and Jesse Whittington rounding out your top 10. As the field makes their way behind the pace truck and gets ready for some pit stops, which these drivers pretty much going to be crying for new tires right now due to, again, the tire wear that we're seeing. A huge drop in speed. We're talking best lap of the race for Eric Schaefer was a 29.8. His last lap before the caution was a 33.5. So almost 4 seconds of fall off. As the field makes their way down onto pit road. Eric Schaefer with that #1 pit stall. Have the advantage getting off of pit road. We'll watch for that race off of pit road. Here is the pit out line. Leave that right there. And Eric Schaefer is able to get off pit road first. Eric Schaefer, Warren Kyle Keith, Justin Gahn, Cody Kinsey, Brandon Banks, Tony Kiffett, Craig Lautenschlager. Jesse Whittington just gets out ahead of Mike George. And while the field gets set to re-rack and restack, we'll have one more word from our sponsor. And sorry about that, as we were getting the camera set for the choose. I had a little technical difficulties there under the caution, so don't mind me while we get this camera set up properly for the choose here. So Eric Schaefer going to choose the inside, putting Cedric Hunter down on the outside, or out on the outside, excuse me. Row 2 will have Warren Kyle Keith and Justin Gahn. Brandon Banks to the inside, with Cody Kinsey to the outside in row number 3. Row 4 will be Tony Kimmett with Jesse Whittington his outside, then Craig Lotschlager and Mike George rounding out your top 10 as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. There he goes. Eric Schaefer going to lead him back down to the Geico restart zone. Green flags back in the air. We are back racing as Eric Schaefer gets a great jump down into turn number 1. Side-by-side battle between Warren Kyle Keith and Cedric Hunter. Keith is going to take over that second position, but he gets really loose there. Almost gets hit from behind by Cedric Hunter. Takes a look down to the inside. They go side-by-side down into turn number 3. Fresh tires. These drivers are going to try to give it all they can while they've got the grip. The lights are coming on. The sun's going down. We're going to transition to nighttime as the track's going to get grippier and grippier. And Warren Kyle Keith able to hold on to that second position for now, as Eric Schaefer's already grown his lead out to just over 1 second. Ooh, Cedric Hunter gets really loose there off of turn number 2. Barely taps the inside wall. Caution is out for the first time tonight for incident. I'll bring us up a wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to Cedric Hunter to bring out this caution. So as we're trying to pull up the replay here, let's take a look to see what happened to Cedric there. See it down. Just gets loose there off the corner, slides it down to the inside. Very, very minimal contact with the outside or inside wall there. So I don't think he's going to have too much damage on that 13 machine. Try to see if we can get a good look here when we go live. And yeah, you see the damage to that left front there. It looks like just mostly cosmetic. Doesn't look like anything that's going to really affect the handling of that 13 machine. A couple other drivers come down pit road as well. Craig Lotschlager, Jason Hastings also down on the pit road. Of course, these drivers do not have resets, so they're going to try to get, if they do have any damage, just going to get what they have fixed up. Doesn't look like there's really anything for Cedric Hunter there. So he's back down and away. And that's going to be our caution here. Our second caution of the night, first one due to incident. We should be getting ready to next time by. Not this time, but next time by, we'll be doing our choose. I apologize. That was our choose right there. Race control talking about what they're going to do about it because they didn't announce the choose. All right, so this will be the lineup. Eric Schaefer down on the inside. I'm sorry, takes the outside. Warren Kyle Keith to the inside. Row 2 will find Justin Gahn and Cody Kinsey. As the pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. And yeah, it flipped on a sudden that the drivers didn't even realize that it was 2 to go, getting ready to the choose. So normally I hear it and might hear when they're going to do the choose there, but they did not announce it. So green flag flies yet again. Another great jump here for Eric Schaefer down into turn number 1. Meanwhile, right behind you see Justin Gahn and Cody Kinsey battling it out for the 3rd spot. Warren Kyle Keith tucks back in line. These two go door to door off turn at number 2. Gahn almost got into the back of Kinsey. Kinsey able to hold on to that 3rd spot. They go down into turn number 1. Meanwhile, a little further back, a little battle back here. Jesse Whittington on the inside. He's going to lose that position. Chris Bishop on the high side. Meanwhile, Richard Swabley trying to move on through. There's a gaggle of cars. They're all sliding out and around here in the back. You see Cedric Hunter trying to work his way back through the field here as well. Some drivers trying to save tires, other drivers trying to go 3 wide down into turn number 1. That's never going to work. Wisely backs out of it. That was the 8 of Brad Titus. Wisely backed out of it instead of going 3 wide. They make their way down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Battles all over the racetrack is Jesse Whittington still trying to hold off the 27 of Richard Swabley. It's starting to gain on him just a little bit. As you see the run he's going to get off of turn number 2. He's going to try to make a move down here into turn 3 there, but he's going to tuck back in line. They come across the stripe to complete lap number 43. Next stage break will be on lap 65. I'll make sure to watch it this time. Eric Schaefer continues to lead Warren Kyle Keith by almost a second. And Warren Kyle Keith and Cody Kinsey. Justin Gahn and Kinsey starting to run down the 21 of Warren Kyle Keith. Last time by, Keith ran a 30.35. Kinsey ran a 30.24. Justin Gahn ran a 30.10. Your leader ran a 30.13. So, yeah, pretty identical times here for most of these guys up at the front. But Warren Kyle Keith losing quite a bit of ground with 3 drivers behind him as they make their way off of turn number 4. Jacob Jorgensen with a under attack here from the 48 of Alex Musala. see the 13 of Cedric Hunter right here in the mix as well. Hunter's trying to work his way back up towards the front. A lot of racing left to go though, so anything can happen here. There's a little battle heating up here between Cody Kinsey and Justin Gahn. Gahn's right there on the back bumper, trying to get around the 93 of Kinsey. You see Brandon Banks back there as well, trying to move forward. A few cars right here all trying to battle it out. This will be a battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Eric Schaefer's lead is now just around a second. He's actually lost a little bit of time to this group behind him. As you see Cody Kinsey continuing to try to make a move down underneath Warren Kyle Keith as our second through fifth drivers, all under a blanket. Meanwhile, Cedric Hunter now taking a look down underneath the 48. He's going to easily get around that machine and set his sights on Jacob Jorgensen. Takes a look down to the inside of Jorgensen. Turn number 4. Hunter's going to get that run just barely to the inside, trying to make that move. It's down on the apron. Going to pull a slide job up in front of Jorgensen. Move himself up into the 11th position. So, at 13, working his way through traffic. As Jesse Whittington and Chris Bishop now go side by side into turn number 3. Whittington thought about pulling a little slide job there, but Bishop right there trying to get by. If Bishop's going to lose a position, now here comes Richard Swavely to the back bumper. We got another driver down on pit road. That is that 49 of Jason Hastings, and we can see why. Look at the right side of this machine. He's been up into the outside wall hard. He is going to lose a lap to our leader here, Eric Schaefer. Meanwhile, Chris Bishop just lost a position to Richard Swavely, and then another position here to Cedric Hunter, and in danger of losing another spot to Jacob Jorgensen right behind. So Bishop back just a few spots. He was making his way through the field a little bit. Now he's starting to fall back. And Jorgensen's being challenged from behind. Justin Gahn going to try to take a look down to the inside. Not quite close enough to commit to that. He's going to tuck back in line. Meanwhile, Jacob Jorgensen does take a look down to the inside of Chris Bishop. Bishop up into the outside wall. He's going to lose 2 positions here going into turn number 1, and in danger of losing another spot to Craig Parks, who's got a bit of a run here down the backstretch. As we saw Bishop just hard up into the outside wall. Getting up in the outside wall is going to kill your momentum here at Darlington. As I say that, we see this foot 93 of Cody Kinsey rushing the outside wall. That's going to allow Justin Gahn to take a look down to the inside as we come down the backstretch towards turn number 3. And right behind we see Brandon Banks up in this mix as well. Gahn going to take that position away, so moving down up into the 3rd spot. But here comes a crossover move by Kinsey down the front stretch there, back to being side by side down towards turn number 1. Brad Titus was just on pit road. He has been down and away. We're about 10 laps away from the end of this stage. Eric Schaefer with a comfortable 1.5 second lead over second place Warren Kyle Keith. There's your leader, Eric Schaefer, excuse me. Down into turn number 4. So we are quickly approaching just 5 laps left in the stage. Well, this battle right here is heating up as Brandon Banks is going to take a look down to the inside. Going down into turn number 1. He's going to take that position away. So move Banks up 11 spots since the drop of the green flag up into the 4th position. The biggest mover of the race is that 54 of Brandon Banks. And Tony Kimmett was something to run around Brandon Banks a little bit. Got around Cody Kinsey. Did catch the outside wall, but he continues on. Eric Schaefer has led pretty much every lap of the race since we dropped the green. And cruising out in front. As he crosses the line this time, his lap time last time by was a 31:20. Warren Kyle Keith had a 31:35, so Schaefer is starting to continues to pull away as we see Chris Bishop losing another position to Craig Parks. So move Bishop back to the 14th position, which is where the 14 car started tonight. Mike George and Jesse Whittington. Whittington starting to run down that 29 machine. Takes a look down to the inside. He catches the wall just a little bit, and that's going to move Jesse Whittington up into the 7th position. Eric Schaefer making his way now off of turn number 4. We'll have just 2 laps left of the stage. Schaefer, a very, very clean race up. This time though, lap times did not drop quite as much as they did the first run. As we come to the last lap of the stage. Eric Schaefer has a 2.5 second lead over second place Warren Kyle Keith. Eric Schaefer coming off of turn number 4 for the final time of the stage. And Eric Schaefer is going to win stage number 2. And there's the caution for the stage. Warren Kyle Keith is going to come home second. Justin Gahn back in third. Brandon Banks fourth. Tony Kimmett fifth. Cody Kinsey, Jesse Whittington, Cedric Hunter rebounds for an 8th place finish of the stage. Mike George and Richard Swadley. And if Cedric Hunter has that much speed, he will drive himself from dead last up into 8th. Eric Schaefer is going to be worrying here in this final stage to run to lap 140. The entire field's getting ready yet again to come down. on the pit road. They will have to pit at least one more time. You see Eric Schaefer get down to pit road speed, and the entire field makes their way down. Looks like Craig Lautenschlager will be your lucky dog. The entire field makes their way down on the pit road. We'll watch for the race off of pit road here. And Eric Schaefer gets the win off pit road. Warren Kyle Keith, Brandon Banks, Justin Gahn, Jesse Whittington, Cedric Hunter gains 2 spots on pit road, move him up to 6th. Tony Kivitt back in 7th. Cody Kinsey, Mike George, and Richard Swavely, your top 10 in the stage as we wait for pit stops to continue with the lap down cars. We'll have another word from our sponsor. Great words there from our sponsor, SimWrapMarket.com. We are on 2 to go, which means we will be choosing this time by. So we get our camera all set up there for the choose. Eric Schaefer again choosing the inside this time. Warren Kyle Keith to his outside. Row 2 will find Brandon Banks to the inside and Justin Gahn to the outside. Cedric Hunter lines up 5th. So gains another spot there on the choose with the 93 of Cody Kinsey to his outside. Row 4, we find Mike George and Tony Kivitt. Tony Kivitt on the inside, Mike George on the outside. Then Jacob Jorgensen and Richard Swavely round out your top 10. As the field makes their way off of turn number 3, pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Eric Schaefer is once again going to lead him down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for the Forrest Schaefer. And here's Brandon Banks taking advantage of it. He's going to move himself up into the 2nd position as we said Warren Kyle Keith did not have a very good restart. Justin Gahn just got a little loose there right behind the 21. Now he's going to look up to the high side. And caution is out. We've got a big wreck right here in turn number 2. You see Richard Swavely involved, Jacob Jorgensen. Looks like Brad Titus might have got a little piece of that as well. Let's take a look at the wreckage rewind to see exactly what happened. We see these two drivers. This is Jorgensen And Suavely side by side down into turn. Oh, it looks like, man, I'm not really sure what happened right there. So you see the 27, had a little blink there, disappeared. Ooh, looks like it net coded the 5. You see the 27 up into the outside wall. The 48 there of Alex gets a little piece of it as well. I'm not sure where Brad Titus was in all of this as well. Oh, there he is, comes in and just T-bones Jacob Jorgensen, just nowheres to go. And a ton of drivers make their way down pit road. We see Justin Gahn, Cody Kinsey, Tony Kivett, Craig Parks, Alex Musrala, Barry Knapp, Gary May, Gary Wright, Jesse Whittington, Jacob Jorgensen, Richard Swaffley, Brad Titus, all making their way down pit road. Trying to throw a little gamble here. Looks like tires going on these cars, even though they've only been green for 2 or 3 laps. Left sides only. Looks like for Gary May. Some drivers taking just fuel, just trying to extend that a little bit if they can. In the chat, we see Jose Fine says hello. Tyler Murray says, way to miss a wreck, Bishop. Bishop was able to get through that one pretty quickly. And see more faking down on pit road. So I believe we are... I don't think we're choosing this time, but we'll get the... no, the lights are still on the pace truck. So we'll go one more lap before we choose. I believe we should be choosing this time by. So 4th caution of the night, 2nd for incident. We did have the 2 stage cautions. First caution for incident came out right after the end of the stage. First stage when Cedric Hunter got a little loose. Got down into the inside wall. Didn't make hard contact with the inside wall, but just enough to bring out the caution. Then we just had that caution there for the incident with Jacob Jorgensen, Brad Titus, Alex Musala, Richard Swaffley. So the Lady in Black bites another one. I believe we should be choosing this time by. So Eric Schaefer has led every lap of the race so far. Going to choose the inside lane, putting Brandon Banks to his outside. Row 2 is going to be the 21 of Warren Kyle Keith. And Cedric Hunter rebounds back up into the 4th position on this restart. Row 3 will find Craig Parks. Back there with Mike George. And then the 93 of Cody Kinsey and Barry Knapp back in row 4. So here we go, the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. And Eric Schaefer coming back to the green. Great jump again for Eric Schaefer on that inside lane. That's going to allow him to have the best line down into turn number 1, Warren Kyle Keith. Brandon Banks battling out for position number 2. Keith gets down onto the apron just a little bit. Able to keep his momentum though, as Brandon Banks is going to clear Warren Kyle Keith going down into turn number 3. Now watch this 13 machine as he tries to work his way back up towards the front. And you see Mike George in the 5th position. Right here as well, a little further behind that, we see the 42. Barry Knapp was trying to make a move down to the inside of Cody Kinsey. Not going to happen though as they come down off the turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Here's Craig, Craig Parks. Just trying to make a move there as he's going to move himself up into the 5th position. Cedric Hunter right now just knows that it's a long way to lap 140. Has that long run in mind. Looks like he's just kind of riding back here as Craig Parks almost runs into the back of the 13 there. Tries to make a move up to the outside. Not going to happen. So Cedric Hunter currently in conservation mode. You can see him trying to save a little bit of fuel, save tires, and have that long run speed that we saw him have on the first run. Meanwhile, up front, Eric Schaefer has his first real challenge of the night as Brandon Banks is within a car length of that Ford machine. And Brandon Banks has a chance to be the 2nd leader of the race, after Eric Schaefer has led the first up to now 78 laps. Brandon Banks again, trying to get a little run going here, just not close enough to try to make a move. And here, Brandon Banks on the clutch, saving fuel. Let's just listen along. Saving gas through turns 1 and 2, but let's listen and see if he's shutting it off again down into turn number 3. On the clutch all the way through turns 3 and 4, trying to save some fuel. And let's ride along here with our leader, Eric Schaefer. Let's see if he is doing the same thing here. Through turns 1 and 2, but let's listen here to 3. And he's straight shutting that car all the way off through turns 3 and 4. Listen to how long he lets it roll. So try to save fuel. Which makes me think that maybe Cedric Hunter is kind of on that same agenda here as he's got the 29 of Mike George right there on the back bumper. Craig Parks has gotten around the 13 machine. Not quite on the clutch, but definitely letting it roll a lot longer. As a battle for the lead is shaping up here. Brandon Banks right there on the back bumper. Top 3 under a blanket, shutting their cars off. You can barely hear the engine running as they come through the corners. They're doing everything they can right now to save as much fuel as possible. And if you're Brandon Banks and you're trying to save fuel, you do not want to be leading. You want to hang behind Eric Schaefer. You want to make him push the air, running his weight, trying to use as little fuel as possible. As we start lap 85 of 140. Not really sure how far these drivers can go on fuel. First stage is 30 laps, second stage is 35 laps. So you know they can go at least 35 laps. Which would put them right around that 120 range. So I think what these drivers are trying to do is try to stretch it so it's just or not even 120, a little less than that. So I think what these drivers are doing is they're trying to stretch it here, save some fuel to make it a one-stop race. Or if you're not saving fuel, it's going to be a two-stop race. So a little bit of strategy, a little bit of fuel strategy coming into play here. So we have 54 laps to go. Wow, Mike George running all over the back bumper of Cedric. These drivers back here are not saving as much fuel. Again, Mike George is kind of hanging tight there, not really making anything happen, just riding on the wake. Other driver might be trying to save a little bit of fuel. Wow, Brandon Banks still trying to ride in right there behind Eric Schaefer. There's Warren Keith tries to make a move here on Brandon Banks. Still a lot of racing to go. Next time we cross the line, we'll have just 50 laps to go. The track temperature's falling. The sun's going down. We're going to finish this thing out underneath the lights. And that grip level is going up because of it. The grip level going up. The intensity is rising as well. Our top three run nose to tail through turns 1 and 2. Mike George right there on the back bumper of Cedric Hunter, trying to make something happen. Got a little loose there off of turn number 2, so he's going to have to tuck back in line and give it another go. Field comes off of turn number 4. These drivers still saving some fuel, coming up on the lap car of Brad Titus. Brad gonna stay down on the low side, let the drivers race it out. Mike George still right there on the back bumper of Cedric Hunter, trying to make something happen. Well, they still continue to run into. We see runs right into the back of Brad Titus. Doesn't look like any damage there. That's going to allow Alex Musrala, who is currently scored 1 lap down, going to get around the 29 of Mike George. It's going to give a little bit of breathing room to Cedric Hunter. Speaking of breathing room, looks like a little bit of breathing room for Eric Schaefer as Brandon Banks was just 2 tenths of a second, about 4 car lengths off the back bumper of that Ford machine. Since cut that lead back down to about 2 car lengths. You see Warren Kyle Keith right there as well. Craig Parks getting passed by Cedric Hunter. Looks like Cedric Hunter is starting to turn the afterburners back on. So he's moved himself back up into the 4th position. He is currently the fastest car out on the racetrack, just ran a 31.25 to your leaders 31.4s. But being a little more clean air, he had to pass somebody there. That's going to slow your lap time a little bit. Being out in clean air now, he should be able to get a little bit faster lap times here. So he can start to run down the leaders on this lap. The driver not doing any saving right now, just trying to move himself through the field. Down by Cedric Hunter was about the same pace as the leaders. We got a little bit of a battle shaping up back here as Justin Gahn starting to run down the 29 of Mike George. And behind that we see Tony Kivett running down Barry Knapp for the 8th position. Quickly approaching 40 laps to go as Brad Titus makes his way down on the pit road. Again, he scored a couple laps down. And Warren Kyle Keith has just disappeared as here comes Brandon Banks taking a look around the inside. Brandon Banks is going to take over the lead of the race. Being scored on the racetrack. I believe he might have had a disconnect here. Meanwhile, a little further back, we see Mike George taking a look down underneath Craig Parks. Justin Gahn getting around Parks as well as Parks was up into the outside wall. He's going to lose 2 positions there through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Tony Kivett taking a look down underneath Barry Knapp. Down into turn number 3. Ooh, some contact. Both drivers able to get through there somehow. Those 2 cars were completely wrecked. They were able to hang on to it somehow, some way. What a save for both Barry Knapp and Tony Kivett there. As we have just 40 laps to go. And Brandon Banks out in front over 2nd place Eric Schaefer. And Schaefer, again, trying to save some fuel. This might be a good idea for him to kind of ride behind Brandon Banks, save a little bit of fuel. Meanwhile, Warren Kyle Keith is showing out of the race. He scored in the 16th position, and that is as Brad Titus is still in the race. You have a few drivers who have retired from the race. Timothy Stubblefield, Jason Hastings, Fred Lautenschlager, and Richard Swavely have all retired from the race. Titus going to grab one more spot here around Warren Kyle Keith, and Keith is going to finish tonight in the 17th position. Meanwhile, this battle, this battle's starting to heat up a little bit. Mike George trying to run down and Justin Gahn. Again, I believe these drivers are going to have to pit still. I know they were saving. I don't think they had enough saving to completely make it to the end of the race. I would expect to see some drivers making their way down pit road in the next 5 or so laps. As I say that, Jacob Jorgensen down on pit road, getting his service done. Brandon Banks continues to lead and continues to save fuel. So we got one here with Eric Schaefer. Him shutting his car completely off. As I say, that doesn't sound like he's saving fuel at all anymore. Oh, and issues for Mike George. So we see what happened to George here. Not sure what happened to Mike George. I don't know if he was trying to get down on the pit road and just lost it or what. Gary Wright also on pit road. See, Jacob Jorgensen still down on pit road, so it's like he's trying to get some damage fixed, but Mike George, Gary Wright is down and away. Schaefer trying to run back down the 54 of Brandon Banks. Both cars so eerily quiet through turns 3 and 4. Still trying to save as much fuel as they can. Eric Schaefer saving as much fuel as he can again. Meanwhile, looks like we had a incident here with Jacob Jorgensen. Not really sure what happened to the 5. Just came off pit road. Blew cold tires, looped it around. And does not bring out the caution as he was well down below the racing surface. So we have just 30 laps to go. I anticipate these drivers coming down pit road anytime now as Barry Knapp now comes down on the pit road. He's going to get tires and fuel. And don't look now, but look who is coming into the picture. As the 13 of Cedric Hunter is now cut the leader's lead down to just about a second. And coming in a hurry, as you can see those two leaders in front getting bigger and bigger out the front windshield of Cedric Hunter. Take a look off the back bumper of Eric Schaefer, who sees that pink car growing in his mirror. Didn't hear him shutting that car off, continuing to save fuel. As we are quickly approaching 25 laps to go. Not sure if these guys are just planning on taking 2 tires and just a splash of fuel to make it to the end, if they're trying to make fuel only, or what. Because again, I don't think they'll be able to run the entire run here on a tank of fuel. I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. I don't know how much fuel these drivers are able to save shutting the car off through turns 3 and 4 like that. We've already seen a few other drivers come down pit road for service. Wondering if we're going to see any of our leaders on pit road soon. As they cross the line, we have just 25 laps to go. Brandon Banks, Eric Schaefer out in front, saving fuel. Have Cedric Hunter, who's now cut that gap down below a second. After spinning right after the first stage, falling all the way back to the back of the field, driving his way back up into the top 5, and now running down your leaders who are saving a ton of fuel. Sounds like somebody just said they were coming down on the pit road. You see Eric Schaefer right back there on the back bumper of Brandon Banks down into turn number 3. We'll see if we see anybody coming down on the pit road this time by. Everybody's going to bypass pit road. With 23 laps to go, again, the fuel saving continues for our top 2. Justin Gahn battling with the lap car of Alex Musrala. Just kind of hanging back there, not able to get around. Meanwhile, Cedric Hunter continues to eat into this lead. You see last 2 laps. Schaefer's been a little bit quicker the last 2 laps. It looks like Hunter's now trying to save a little bit of fuel. That time, Hunter was just a little bit quicker. See the green, that means Eric Schaefer has been running faster lap times than Brandon Banks. Cedric Hunter's been running faster lap times than Eric Schaefer. So we'll see if Hunter can indeed run these drivers down, and who has enough fuel in the tank. Who's going to have to come down pit road at least for some fuel. Issues there for Brandon Banks. Looks like he got a little loose there off of turn number 2. Had to run down to the inside of the track. You see Cedric Hunter solidly in the picture as they come down into turn number 1 with under 20 laps to go. Yet we have not seen anybody make their way down on the pit road yet out of our leaders. Top 10 still out on the racetrack. A couple drivers come down and top off on lap 73. Justin Gahn, Tony Kivett, Jesse Whittington, Chris Bishop. All were on pit road on lap 73. We see Cody Kinsey, Greg Parks, Gary May all on pit road on 21. And then Brandon Banks, Eric Schaefer, Cedric Hunter were all last on pit road on lap number 66. As our leaders are coming up on another lap car. Let's see if I can see who that is. I believe. Looks like it is the 05. Yep, Gary May. So Gary May going to be the first car one lap down. And Brandon Banks makes his way around. May, though, putting up a fight, doesn't want to go a lap down. Here comes Eric Schaefer down to the bottom of the racetrack. Cedric Hunter right there on the back bumper. He has made it to the leaders. And Hunter down to the inside. Cedric Hunter takes over the second spot. Schaefer, though, has a little bit of a run. Not going to have it, though, as they come off of turn number 2. Now Cedric Hunter up into the runner-up position and running down the 54 of Brandon Banks. But Hunter does not have the fuel that Banks and Schaefer has. As he was not saving at all during that run. We heard it. Cedric Hunter tries to find his way around the 54 of Brandon Banks. As we are quickly approaching 10 laps to go. Banks up into the outside wall. Cedric Hunter almost gets into the back bumper. Heavy damage for the 54. Cedric Hunter takes over the lead. So Brandon Banks going to fall all the way back to the third position. Now the question is, does Cedric Hunter have enough fuel in the tank to run it to the end? And is Eric Schaefer safe enough here to try to get back around the 13 of Cedric Hunter? 12 laps to go now. Whose strategy is going to pay off? Again, we haven't seen anybody make their way down on the pit road. Cedric Hunter now pulling away from second place Eric Schaefer. Cedric Hunter looking for his fourth victory of the season. Eric Schaefer looking for his fourth of the season. Brandon Banks looking for his first win of the season. Down the backstretch they come into turn number 3. When they cross the line this time, we'll have just 10 laps to go here from Darlington. Again, I am not sure how much fuel these boys have in the tank. They are giving it everything they got here for these final 10 laps. Continues to pull away from second place Eric Schaefer. Chris Bishop taking a look down to the inside of Craig Parks. This is a battle for position. That's going to move Bishop up into the 8th position. As the 48 of Alex Musrala now makes his way down on the pit road. with just 9 cars out on the lead lap. And your leaders are coming up on another lap car. That will be the 71 of Craig Parks. He's about a half a lap ahead of Cedric Hunter at the time being. He could come into play here as we have just 7 laps to go. And if Cedric Hunter does indeed make it around to the finish, he would have gone 74 laps on this tank of fuel. As he comes across the line next time, we'll have just 5 laps to go. And it did not sound like Cedric Hunter was saving quite as aggressively as Eric Schaefer and Brandon Banks were, as Justin Gahn has now gotten around Brandon Banks and up into the 3rd position. And we have 5 laps to go here from Darlington. You see Justin Gahn starting to run down the 4 of Eric Schaefer. There is Gahn making his way into the picture. Schaefer got a little loose. Ooh, gets really loose there. Off of turn number 2. He's going to lose a ton of time to that 30 of Justin Gahn. Gahn up to the back bumper. With 4 laps to go, it's one thing to catch a driver, it's another thing to get around him, especially here at Darlington, as it is so hard to pass, especially here off of turn number 2 where it gets so slick. But if you can get a good run down the backstretch, you can set a pass up for turn number 3. Gahn's going to peek to the outside. Is he going to cut it down to the inside off of turn number 4? He is, but not quite close enough to get the throttle down. To take a look underneath Eric Schaefer as we have 3 laps to go. Gahn able to get the throttle down a little bit sooner than Schaefer is. You see that acceleration off the corner down into turn number 3. He's able to close back up, but no, he's going to catch the wall this time. It's going to slow his momentum. Give Eric Schaefer a little bit of breathing room off of turn number 4 with just 2 laps to go. Cedric Hunter's lead is now 1.5 seconds out in front of Eric Schaefer. Eric Schaefer has a hard charging Justin Gahn trying to get back to the back bumper of that 4 machine. As they come off of turn 4 this time, the white flag will be in the air. We'll have just 1 lap to go here at Darlington. And there it is, the white flag in the air for Cedric Hunter. Does Justin Gahn have anything for Eric Schaefer on this final lap? Good exit there for Schaefer this time. He's going to be able to keep Gahn behind for now. As they come down into turn number 3, Gahn's going to give it one last shot. As they come off of turn number 4, Cedric Hunter goes from spinner to winner here at Darlington Speedway. Eric Schaefer is going to finish up in 2nd. Justin Gahn's going to bring it home 3rd. Cody Kinsey and Brandon Banks round out your top 5. But your winner here tonight for the 4th time this season, the 13 of Cedric Hunter. Here's Cedric Hunter going to come down to the front stretch where he's going to celebrate his win here tonight at Darlington Speedway. Cedric Hunter gets the win here tonight. We'll take a look at the final results. And again, Cedric Hunter gets the win. Eric Schaefer comes home second. Justin Gahn back in third. Cody Kinsey and Brandon Manx your top five. Jesse Whittington brings it back in sixth. Tony Kivett comes home seventh. Chris Bishop, Craig Parks, and Barry Knapp round out your top 10. Mike George brings it home in 11th. Gary May 12th. Gary Wright back in the 13th position. Brad Titus and Alex Masrala back in 15th. Jacob Jorgensen in 16th. Warren Keith back in 17th. Richard Swavely in 18th. Craig Lautenschlager in 19th. Jason Hastings and Timothy Stubblefield round out the field here tonight from Darlington Speedway. As we get everybody into the waiting room, we'll take one last word from our series sponsor. So we get ready to talk with our top three drivers here tonight, starting with our third place finisher, Justin Gahn. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Josh, I got you. What's up?
Man, great run for you here tonight. Ran top five pretty much all night long. Fell back a little bit on that final run. Able to drive back up into the top three, especially when Brandon Banks had that issue there at the end. Talk us through the race, though, because it was, for Darlington, a very clean race, lack of cautions, and a lot of strategy there at the end.
Yeah, I think when you throw fuel mileage into it, everybody gets a little cautious. They let people go. It's just a lot slower of a race. So I definitely contribute the caution count to that. But I mean, the first part of the race was pretty much get on it. So everybody still kept it pretty clean. So I mean, definitely a good group of guys over here, really fast. So I was hoping I'd be talking to you a lot sooner than this race, but finally here. Yeah, I mean, I had about 2 laps of fuel left in the tank. I know the guys in front of me, they were less than a lap, I believe. So I wanted that little bit of safety net there just in case. But yeah, I was hoping they were going to run out, to be honest. So I didn't push too hard there at the end because I thought for sure they weren't going to be able to stretch it out, seeing how much I was able to stretch it. But they sure did. So congrats to them. That's hard to do.
And just want to reiterate, because I had my microphone muted apparently, so I apologize for that. But the question was, you know, pitting early, did that, or that little pit stop, did that to give him a little more breathing room? And that was his answer. So again, Justin, great job here tonight coming home top three. You've shown a lot of speed for a few weeks now, just haven't been able to put a full race together. Glad you're able to get up here and talk to us here in the booth. In 2 weeks, we'll move over to Daytona Super Speedway, kind of the great equalizer. How do you like your chances at the wild card race before the end of the playoffs?
Yeah, there's people that love the super speedways and people that hate them, and I don't love them. I can tell you that. So, yeah, I'll just try to keep it clean, stay out of trouble, and get a top 5, top 10. I'll be happy with that.
Well, as a self-proclaimed super speedway expert, yeah, that's one of my favorite tracks. So, man, again, great job here tonight. Top 3. Before we let you go, Justin, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Performance Motorsports, Hyperdrive Racing, Ayers iRacing Paints, and Sim Magic, and also you guys for putting the broadcast on for us, and everybody behind the scenes over here at the league.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the podium here tonight. Look forward to many, many more for the rest of the season. We still have a long playoff picture ahead of us here tonight. So, again, congratulations on the podium, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Have a great night. That was your third place finisher, Justin Gahn. Let's bring in your second place finisher tonight, Eric Schaefer. Eric, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, dominated 3/4 of this race here tonight, and saw it slip away there at the end on fuel mileage. First off, I haven't seen a more dominating car on iRacing here at Darlington in a long time than we saw here tonight. What was the strategy coming into tonight? Because I know fuel mileage really changed the dynamic of this last run. You were completely shutting the car off. We heard Brandon Banks dropping the clutch. I don't know how Cedric Hunter was able to save because it didn't sound like he was saving at all. But when did you know that you were going to have to start saving and make it there to the end?
As soon as that caution happened, man, I hate having to save. I just like getting out there, being able to race. I mean, I understand the strategy, but the fuel mileage stuff sucks. I cannot save my tires while saving fuel, like my right front there. I killed my right front there just trying to save enough gas. But no, all in all, yeah, dominant car, but couldn't pull out the W. But P2, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, coming into the playoff picture, it's all the stage points, the stage wins here tonight. That makes a difference. And you talk about not being able to save that right front because you're having to save fuel using the. I don't know if you were just using a clutch. It sounded like you were shutting the car completely off. Not using that engine brake to kind of slow the car down. Does that put a little more pressure on that right front, you think? And could that have been the difference here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. The more brake you use at Darlington, especially going into 3, the more brake you're on it while turning, you're just going to kill the right front. I'm more of a get it on the right rear type guy and drive it that way with braking and gassing it up. But no, it was, you were having to use so much brake that it was while turning into 3 that it was just putting so much load on the right front. It was just getting it way too worn out. And yeah, that's what ultimately cost us the race, man. I wish these guys would make longer stages. Lap 30 and lap 65 for a stage when you can run 75 laps on fuel is not very fun. And I wish we had a little bit more laps. I mean, the officials here is on 90, so. But all in all, good points tonight, I guess. Congrats, Cedric. So we'll go on to next week, I guess.
Yeah, I've been on the sim for over 13 years. I still can't figure my way around this place out. So the fact that you had such a dominant car just kind of blew my mind here tonight. But 2 weeks from now, we move on to what I like to call the great equalizer over to Daytona International Speedway. Some people love super speedway racing. Some people hate it. How do you like your chances in 2 weeks at Daytona?
Well, considering I won the first race of the season at Daytona, I feel kind of decent about it. I don't know. If I got an opportunity to go up there and run for it, then I will. But if not, I'm going to try to see if I can help my teammates as much as I can.
Well, awesome job here tonight. Again, dominant car, come home P2. Before you let you go, Eric, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for putting on the broadcast with Intensity Broadcasting. Shout out to all the admins in the league. Shout out to Paul's Setup Shop for all the fixed setups we get. Shout out to Reefer Speed Labs, Paul's Drilling Company, Niggas Paint Shop, and all the guys over at DBR.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats tonight on the second place finish. Good luck next week at Daytona. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Up doing 2 nights a week for the longest time.
That was me jumping into the wrong room there. I apologize for that. As we get ready to talk to our third winner here tonight, Cedric Hunter Center. You got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Man, going from spinner to winner here tonight in what was a bit of a fuel mileage race, and man, you had a rocket ship there at the end of the race. You also pit on lap 66, and I didn't sound like you were saving quite as much as those guys in front of you. How were you able to stretch it the way you did and still have that speed there at the end?
It's a great question because I was actually talking to Justin. I guess, well, he had topped off, and then from my understanding, he was clutching going into one of the corners, and I wasn't doing that at all. Like I was lifting maybe slightly earlier than what I was in the previous runs, but like I was also not getting back to the gas as quick as I was. Like the centers, I was way slower through the centers, and I don't know. That's kind of what I did. I wasn't actually expecting to be able to run those guys down. I figured saving the fuel, I was going to probably save the tires, and they were kind of a little before, I guess, Warren throughput and had connection problems or whatever. Like I felt like they were kind of racing each other pretty hard, and I didn't know that they were saving. But yeah, caught them. Got very fortunate with a lapper and being able to capitalize, I guess, on the checkup and the chaos that happened off of 2. And I don't know if I would have been able to pass them both, without that situation happening. But so sometimes the cards align, and then for us it did tonight, and managed to save enough to do a burnout, which I was pretty happy about.
Well, I'm going to bring it up again. I hate to bring it up this way, but spinner to winner. They're on that second stage or first stage. There looks like you just kind of looped it there coming off of turn number 2. Did the cold tires kind of catch you by surprise there as the track temperature was starting to change?
Yeah, actually, I completely forgot to review that before. I forgot that I even spun out, but yeah, I'm not sure if I just lost it, like if I just got loose and spun out, which is very possible. Or if I hit the apron and just lost it, but I'm sure, as my friend group, I guess, would say, that's just kind of apparently what I do. I've done it countless times where I've spun out on the opening laps, came back and won a race. I guess is just my MO. So again, got fortunate with kind of how everything lined up without everything happening. There's no way I would have gone back, but very fortunate that we got the win.
Yeah, especially having to drive back up through the field like that. Pit stops came your way. You gained a couple spots there on the pit stop, gained another one on the choose there. Man, you were able to drive right back up and get the win. Next week we move on, or 2 weeks from now, I should say, we move on to, as I've been calling it, the Great Equalizer. We move over to Daytona Super Speedway. How do you like your chances at Daytona in 2 weeks?
I mean, not very good. If I'm not mistaken, I think I won. I think I won Talladega, right? Something like that. So I don't know. Like, it's anybody there can win. You kind of have a 1 out of 20 or whatever amount of cars that show up. So I have a 1 out of 20 chance of winning. Do I feel confident? Not really, but it is what it is. I mean, we won 2 weeks in a row, kind of placing ourselves upon, with the most wins so far this season. So that feels really good. Obviously, Schaefer's going to tie me probably, if not next week, it'll be probably the week after. So, he's really, really, really fast. And Justin tonight was also really quick. Daytona should be fun. Hopefully we can get a win, but like you said, it's a great equalizer.
Yeah. First race, Eric Schaefer won at Daytona. Then you won at Talladega. And I believe, if I remember correctly, you might have won at Daytona almost sideways. But it was a fantastic finish. Either way, you get the win here tonight. Cement yourself with the 4th win of the season. Saving fuel, man. It was a great race to watch. And of course, before I let you go, Cedric, anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to give you a huge shout out for doing everything that you do. I'm a big fan. I tune in I'll probably go back and rewatch the broadcast tomorrow. So, thank you for doing everything you do. Thank you to the admins and the drivers, that participate. And I guess just for sticking with it. I know we had I think I said it 2 weeks ago, but we obviously had the announcements that the main series was shutting down at the end of the season, and kind of it created a massive wave of guys moving on from the league. So, I want to thank everybody that stuck around. The races have been pretty fun, to say the least. And, shout out to everybody that's out there tuning in, and congrats to Eric and Justin for the podium.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, 4th win of the season. Good luck in 2 weeks at Daytona, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your winner here tonight, Cedric Hunter. Again, getting the win in a crazy fuel mileage race here at Darlington. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to tune in in 2 weeks from Daytona. Of course, if you're looking for some racing to watch here, we do have our Tuesday night Xfinity Series with the Doghouse Racing League. That takes off at 8 p.m. Eastern. So great racing in that league as well. Don't want to miss that. So hit that little notification bell. Hit that like button so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, I want to thank our great partners, SimWrap Marketplace, for all their great support here, or simwrapmarket.com, for all their great support here in the National Series. Our great sponsors over at The Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Check out thebuttkicker.com. Of course, our website over at intensityracing.com, and of course Race EPI for all your coaching and setup needs. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Kick. We do appreciate your support and tuning in. And as our boy Atman Weiss would say, over